Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk The Walking Dead Q&A number 90. Now, for those participating and keeping track, I am answering questions from Q&A 88. If you asked on 89's video, that will be coming in another day or two or three, so your questions might still yet get answered. Now, there's rules that are very important to follow, so that way I can actually find your questions. I only take questions from the comments of the newest video. Easiest way to remember it. Let me worry about pulling questions from 88, 89 when I do multiple Q&As per video. But the best way, ask in the newest video. Find the other rules down in that video description. Let's jump right in. Oh, also, we get a little playful here, so if you ask something that's utterly ridiculous and we talk about it being silly and ridiculous, if you're too sensitive, you're just going to have to go somewhere else. I'll be dead up honest with you, man. Straight up honest with you. I don't even know what dead up means. Anyway, I'll be straight up honest. If we get a little silly, I do it from time to time. I make fun of myself as well. Just putting that out there. We don't tolerate sensitivity. Every now and then we got to remind people, if you're sensitive, this is probably not the place for you. Jaden Bolenti, and you guys can make fun of me as much as you want. I don't mind. I'm horrible with names. Do you think that Rick will start getting some wear and tear in the show like in the comics? You know what? Yeah. I mean, we started seeing that they're keeping scars. They're definitely doing that from the Pete and Rick fight. I didn't think they would actually keep some of the scars, but it appears they are. Now, they pre-make all of those, and they're just stick-on. It's a really cool process. I watched the behind-the-scenes of a movie when they did that throughout the whole shoot, so that's really cool. Now, some of those scars can heal. I have a couple that were huge, and over time, they're getting smaller and smaller, so that's likely to happen. But I do believe they will give him some wear and tear. How much and what kind? Not sure yet. Michael Hughes. Hey, Ronnie, do you think Daryl will get burnt by Negan's iron? Okay. No, and that is a ridiculous question. We're going to return to that one in a second because I think 10 other people asked. Hold on, let's find out. Scott Pilgrim. Do you think there will ever be a villain on The Walking Dead that installed the same amount of fear and popularity in their introduction like Negan did? Compare Negan and Alpha. Alpha may have killed more people, but something about Negan. Listen, here's the thing. I'm not sure where you're going with this, but like specifically. But I appreciate Negan's entrance and Alpha's entrance on a completely different scale, and that's what I want. We can have villains that are similar, like the Governor's entrance and Negan's entrance. It's real similar. The only difference is when we were going into the Negan one, we knew this was a bad guy. With the Governor one, we thought these were just other survivors. And then it was shocking at the very end where he turned around and he's like, yeah, we feed strangers to zombies. And you're a stranger, like welcome stranger. So it was creepy as hell. It was an entrance that they, in my opinion, completely butchered on the show. And I really wish they kept that entrance, but they didn't. Or something similar. I think they could have reworked that or remixed that in an amazing way, but they didn't. But my point is, characters and villains have different entrances, and they don't have to be the same. I love Alpha's entrance almost more than Negan's, to be honest with you, straight up. But it's in a different way. It's because for different reasons, you know what I mean? So I do believe we will get villains with different entrances that are either bad or good based on, how different it is or how similar. But I vote for different all the time because it makes it more interesting. Legend Craft. If 2 deaths is how they decide to go, and he's talking about the premiere for Season 7, the Negan scene, do you think they would Lucille both victims or maybe shoot one, yada, yada, yada? That's hard to tell because I feel like if there's going to be 2 deaths, that is because one or a couple of the survivors jump up from the first death. That's problematic, and I've always hated 2 deaths from the very beginning because it makes Negan's threats feel empty. And I appreciate in the comic how he later admits to Rick, he's like, I'm not going to hurt your son. That was just an empty threat. I'm not going to hurt the boy. You know what I mean? Not in that way, no. But later on, he threatens him again, and you can tell he's pretty serious because he's really mad. Negan could have an empty threat, but it's a different threat now, which means I would expect Negan to cut out his eye and feed it to Rick if anyone does anything. And if he doesn't, that will be like a stain on Negan. He won't be as badass as he was because he's full of crap. Now, is it something quick? Does somebody get up and immediately Negan just shoots him in the face, and then he falls down, and then he goes, okay, anyone else? And then he continues to beat someone to death. That's a way to do it. That would be insane, but still, I'm against double deaths. Anyway, Tim Smith. Negan is against rape. How does he justify Sherry and other guys' old ladies? That is not the same thing at all. A woman becomes his wife, so that way they don't have to put in any work at all. Negan's not forcing any of them. All they have to do is follow rules. That's it. They don't get beat, they don't get forced, they don't get nothing. And is the environment forcing these women into something they wouldn't normally do? Maybe. But that's, that happens in real life too. So, no, it's not even close to being the same thing. Daniel Butler. If you were the new showrunner for Season 7, who would you have Negan kill, and how would you redeem the Season 6 finale? Off the top of my head, without sitting back and fully thinking about it, I would always keep it the same as the comic book. It's just the most heartbreaking, in my opinion. Now, as far as redeeming Season 6 finale, I would have lost my job fighting against the finale. I would have left it as a cliffhanger. I have no problem with cliffhangers. I love cliffhangers. It's the type of cliffhanger. It's how they built it up. They built it up like we were about to be, in that moment and finish it. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to phrase that. And then it was like it was like a fake out. It was like they tricked us. They got us all emotional, and then they pulled the rug out from under us and said, "No, not yet. Come back next time, and we can show you." So I hated it. But if they would have did the same cliffhanger and filmed it differently, exactly like one way out of many would be to focus on Rick. And then when the first bat comes down, Rick closes his eyes in just pain, just heartbreak, because he knows that person is dead. Off that first hit alone, Rick closes his eyes, fades to black. We hear the rest of the beating, people whimpering. It's the same cliffhanger, but it's filmed differently. And if you have the build-up leading the camera towards Rick, and it's not on the action, it's not focusing on Negan, it's focusing mostly on Rick and how he's handling it, I think the audience would have been a lot more receptive to that than the actual cliffhanger. But anyway, Jacob Taylor, do you think The Walking Dead will have another spin-off? Yes, The Walking Dead isn't going anywhere. It might be 10 years from now, but it will happen. Either movie, another show, or both. David Bass, hey boss, do you think it's possible or likely they could connect Fear the Walking Dead with The Walking Dead? I hope not. I think that's a horrible idea. There's literally no reason to connect both shows, other than for fans to be like, okay, let's see these universes collide. There's no reason for it at all. A respectable filmmaker would never cross paths. If you're very desperate, cross paths, fine. If you're that desperate, but no, keep them separate. Go Mets 26. How do you want the opening scene for Season 7 to play out? Should the kill happen right away, or should they take their time building up to the scene again? Man, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't, not off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, if I were to build just something, I would have it open up on Rick Grimes' face, close in on Rick Grimes. He's sad, he's distraught, he's a ruined man. Slowly pan out and you find out he's at the church. So hey, when is this taking place? Oh my God, he's in his outfit. He's sweaty, he's got blood and dirt, whatever, all over him. He's got blood on him, he carried a dead body. We know Rick's not going to die, so open up with Rick Grimes. He's at the church. Oh my God, then we notice, without seeing, other characters, except for maybe people from Alexandria from the back, maybe zoom out a little. I don't know how to do that shot just yet, but know he's at the church. Oh my God, he's about to tell them what happened with Negan. Meeting Negan, a person dying. He's about to tell them what position they're in right now. Damn, there's so much you can play with there. And then as he's doing it, he tries to speak and the words don't come out. They can't come out. And then we see blood, maybe puddled all over the dirt. It starts unpuddling in reverse. So we see the scene backing up, like time is going backwards. Maybe as the blood goes backwards and lifts off the ground, and we see it in reverse motion, reverse slow motion, as if the person who just got killed, their blood is now going backwards. And then we do some kind of effect where you can hear the ringing, ding, and someone getting hit. Go backwards from that. Don't reveal nothing yet. And then go all the way backwards. Finally, Rick's getting the words out. We, and then, whatever kind of speech he has, start the speech, connect that with Negan's Inny Minny Money Mo. You know what I mean? Something similar to that where it's creative. You see bits and pieces. You're terrified. The kill already happened. It's done. Oh my God, it's over. Who's dead? Who's dead? It backs up. It's emotional. Andrew Lincoln's strong enough of an actor to do it. He can do it, definitely. And then once you back it up, and I would have to sit here and think and really flesh this out, do a couple of rewrites. But then once they back it up, you can play at full speed. Inny, Minny, Money, Mo, you are it. Boom. No cuts, no intercutting anything. Have Negan right there, and the audience knows, right from the Inny, Minny, Money, Mo. The audience goes, oh my God, there's no cuts. This is it. This is happening. You are it. Don't even hide who's it. You are it. As soon as he points to the person, it's like, oh no. That's the person. That's it. We don't need it. Like, you are it. Maybe if you did you are it and you wanted to keep it hidden, you are it, bring them up, something, they bring them up, we still don't see who it is until Negan does his speech, closing up on him, raise the bat, come down, pan out, reveal who's getting hit at the last moment, so you're shocked and you see the death almost simultaneously. That's an option, but they don't need to. You get what I'm saying? So there's a few different ways you can play with that. Sierra, moving on. Thank you for that question, though. Good question. I had a lot of fun answering that one. I like getting creative with it. That was fun. Sierra M, what do you think about TV Michonne having Comic Holly's death? I hate that idea. Listen, when you have an epic death, you give it to a character who's not epic. Holly was just an average character up until the moment where she did something badass, and then she got an epic death. She will always be remembered first for the epic death. So don't ever give an epic death like that. Epic because it's a minor character, but it's underwhelming to an epic character. See what I'm saying? I hope I said that right. Hey you, Polly. The episode where Rick gets his hand cut up from the knife, was that in the walker's mouth? Do you think we were getting hints? No. I'm not even going to read the rest because that's just confusing people who are already confused. First off, that was in his shoulder, not his mouth. And second off, the virus, the way you describe it in that paragraph, that's not correct. They already have the zombie virus in them. They're already infected, and this is where everyone gets confused. And I don't mean to sound like a know-it-all. I'm just explaining this for like the 500th time. Everyone's already infected with the zombie virus. But when somebody gets bit and they get an infection, that's completely different from being infected with the zombie virus. An infection can happen right now. My daughter, with her dirty mouth, with her dirty beast-like mouth, if she bit me and I didn't get it treated, I would get an infection that's similar to a zombie bite because she's a filthy beast. So then I would probably die. All right? From an infection. That's just the same as a zombie. Okay, moving on. AKA Bernie. I was watching the Season 6 marathon and remember I still have a huge question about the wolves. Who was driving the freaking truck? Listen, here's the thing. Either they tied a zombie to the wheel, which is probably not the case because it seemed like once Spencer shot the driver, he went off course, or they had that walker's makeup done way too quick. Because it looked like even if he died there, he turned fast, but he looked like a zombie even faster. That's one complaint I have with The Walking Dead. Listen, I love Greg and their team, and I love how they are picking people who are real skinny and they can highlight the features. I love it. But come on. It's at this point, we need some fat zombies. I said it. We need some more well walkers. We need some more people who are different size zombies. We need that. I think they need to stop picking skinny zombies because everyone would be walking around with clothes around their ankles, right? The pants around their ankles. Anyway, we talked about that before, but Dials, have you seen the promotional photo of Negan with a gun? Do you have any thoughts on that? Yeah, that gun is definitely the gun that Eugene had earlier in the episode, so I think he just took Eugene's gun. He might even be driving away or in the RV pointing the gun. We might even see something that might even be before they captured the group. That's possible. Like he beats up Eugene. He inspects the van. That would be cool for an opener. They catch Eugene, beat him up. It's still daylight out. He inspects the van. And Negan's at the window goofing off as they beat up Eugene. And he's like, okay, guys, calm down. Chill out. We know where he's going to be. And this is how we know Eugene didn't spill the beans. Drizzle drop. What if Daryl tries to escape and we see him get burned? Oh man. You and Gek or Deal, this is what Gek or Deal asked. Seeing as Daryl is not in the comics, do you think it's possible he gets his face burnt with the iron? No, there's no reason at all to get Daryl's face burnt with the iron. That's meant for people who cheat on Negan's wives and stuff like that. That has a purpose. Don't taint that purpose by giving Daryl the burn face just to give him the burn face. It does nothing with the story. It does nothing with his character. It does nothing to push the story forward. All you're doing is you're trying to still force it in there that we got Dwight, we got Comic Dwight, but now you're still trying to just force Daryl to become Comic Dwight. I see that so much. I think we even got another question where somebody was like, hey, can we have Daryl or Dwight die and have Daryl become Comic Dwight? People are still asking that. No, we have Comic Dwight on TV now, and he's doing a fantastic job. Austin Emilio, is that how you say his name? He's doing a great job, and I made fun of him. I broke his balls a little bit, partly because I was jealous, but a little bit because he was too skinny. But later I'm looking at it, I'm like, it fits perfect, man, because he's struggling out there. It's a zombie apocalypse. Austin's doing a fantastic job. Give him some room to breathe, all right? We have Daryl. Daryl's cool. Let him stay cool. Liam Neeson, the real Liam Neeson, he asked, do you believe any Alexandrians will play at least a few interesting roles in the upcoming season? I hope so. Nicholas Mercer, how long do you think Sasha will last? That's tough. If Abe makes it out of season 7, I think they should last definitely till after All Out War. If he dies in the premiere or throughout season 7, Sasha, she might even die in All Out War, to be honest with you, because I saw her and Abe's connection as them finally getting to somewhere solid with Sasha's character. If that is done after episode 1, if Abe dies at the hands of Negan, then I truly feel like they're just giving Sasha's character kind of the runaround. She's filling in for all these places that they've gotten rid of characters like Andrea. So I'd be shocked if she made it out of, All Out War. Anyway, which I love Sasha, so I want her to go on. Dalta Cow, hey Ronnie, I know you think Daryl will die during All Out War, but if he ends up surviving, do you think he will get his crossbow back from Dwight, or will Dwight keep it? I mean, Dwight doesn't even use the crossbow anymore. With the crossbow thing, I'm still pushing that this is a rivalry between those two, okay? They joke around about it, not joking, but it's funny to us viewing it. Daryl wants it back. Rick makes Daryl give it to Dwight when they come for supplies. I want it to be a rivalry. At the end of All Out War, after Dwight has used it for All Out War, and we are unsure that he's even going to help the survivors, at the very, very, very end, close to when they're going into their last battle, Dwight does something to prove, definitely, he might be on their side, and that's where he hands the crossbow off willingly, to Daryl. And then he picks up Lucille. And then there you go. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know. Anyway, I do want him to hand the crossbow to Daryl as like a moment of saying, we're in this together. Here's your crossbow back. I think that crossbow is solid symbolism that they can utilize throughout the script and throughout the story. All right, if you got any questions, find the rules down below so you can see how to participate so we can find your questions easier. If you have anything else you want to add, put your thoughts and opinions down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Thanks for all the questions. We got some really good questions this time. Some silly shit, I'll be honest, but some good questions also. I'm out of here. Subscribe now.